My name is Inez F. Mitchell. I'm 34 years old, and until that night, I had spent 5 years believing Ethan and I were building toward marriage. We met at a mutual friend's barbecue. Ethan was 32 now, creative, magnetic, and working freelance in graphic design. He talked endlessly about opening his own studio someday. I worked in software development, stable salary, good benefits, flexible hours. I was the dependable one. 6 months after we met, Ethan moved into my apartment because his place was falling apart. The lease had been in my name for years, and I was happy to have him there. Eventually, I covered most of the rent and bills so he could attack his student loans and build his portfolio. When he lost a major client 2 years into our relationship, I became his safety net. I cooked after long workdays while he vented, bought art supplies when money was tight, loaned him enough for a new laptop. I even turned down a promotion that required relocating because Ethan said leaving the city would destroy the professional network he had spent years creating. "We're building this together," I told him. I meant every word. Looking back, though, Ethan had been showing me the truth in pieces, especially when he talked about Chloe. "She just got back from backpacking through Europe," he once said, scrolling through her pictures. "She doesn't overthink anything. She just goes." "Sounds exhausting." He laughed. "That's because you plan everything." It sounded playful, until it didn't. Chloe worked from Ethan's co-working space. Mid-30s, adventurous, constantly traveling, always posting cliff dives, concerts, spontaneous road trips. Whenever Ethan mentioned her, there was admiration in his voice that slowly started feeling like comparison. Still, I ignored it. Then came that Thursday night. I made pasta. We ate together. Afterward, we were stretched out on the couch watching television when Ethan suddenly muted it. "Can we talk?" I looked at him. "Sure." He leaned back almost casually. "If I'm being honest, I always hoped I'd end up with someone else." For a moment, I thought I had misheard him. "What does that mean?" He sighed. "You're amazing, Inez. Kind, stable, responsible. But growing up, I pictured myself with someone more exciting." My chest tightened. "Like who?" He hesitated, then said her name. "Someone like Chloe." Everything inside me went quiet. Ethan continued as though explaining a reasonable preference. "She pushes boundaries, travels spontaneously, takes risks. Sometimes I look at us and wonder if I settled too early." Settled. 5 years. The bills. The promotion I refused. The nights I talked him through rejection. All of it reduced to settling. I could have screamed. Instead, I smiled faintly. "Interesting?" He stared at me, apparently waiting for an argument. I changed the channel. That night, Ethan tried to put his arm around me. I rolled away. I stared at the ceiling until sunrise. By morning, the pain had changed into clarity. I didn't want to convince a man to choose me after 5 years. So when Ethan left for a coffee meeting, I opened the storage closet. Boxes, his clothes, books, design equipment, shoes, everything. By noon, his entire life in my apartment was stacked neatly beside the door. I wrote 4 words on a piece of paper. "Now you can find her." Then I taped it to the top box. Ethan said he had always hoped to end up with someone else. I was finally going to stop standing in his way. Ethan came home just after 1. He walked through the door carrying 2 coffees and a paper bag from the cafe near his co-working space. Then he stopped. Boxes filled the living room. Clothes, books, design supplies, shoes. Everything that belonged to him was stacked neatly beside the entrance. His eyes landed on the note. "Now you can find her." "What the hell is this?" I was sitting at the kitchen table with coffee. "Your things." He stared at me. "You're serious?" "Yes." "Because of one conversation?" "You told me you always hoped to end up with someone else." I was being honest. And I listened. His expression shifted from surprise to irritation. "The lease is in my name," I continued. "I'll handle whatever paperwork is necessary. You can stay with friends until you figure things out." He laughed bitterly. "This is exactly why I said what I said." I tilted my head. What does that mean? You're so predictable. Cold. No passion. No fight. There it was. Even now, he needed my reaction to validate his decision. Chloe would never react like this. I almost smiled. Then maybe she's perfect for you. Ethan paced between the boxes. I didn't say I wanted to break up. You said I wasn't who you hoped to end up with. That doesn't mean I don't love you. You just don't want me enough. He looked away. For the first time, silence answered honestly. Then Ethan started reframing everything. Life was short. He owed it to himself to explore. Maybe this breakup would help me live a little. Apparently, being discarded was supposed to become my personal growth opportunity. I appreciate the advice, I said. Your boxes are ready. His face hardened. You'll regret this. Maybe. When I'm happy with someone who actually excites me, don't come crawling back. I held his gaze. I won't. That seemed to bother him more than anger would have. He loaded the boxes into his car over the next hour. I helped with the last two. When he finally drove away, tires squealing dramatically, I closed the door and changed the locks. Then the apartment went silent. And for the first time, I felt how much of the relationship I had been carrying. The first week hurt. I won't pretend otherwise. I kept seeing little ghosts of Ethan everywhere. The empty side of the bathroom counter, the couch where he told me I was never his first choice, the place beside me in bed. Some mornings I woke up furious, others embarrassed. How had I spent 5 years trying to become permanent in the life of someone who considered me temporary? But I didn't call him. I went back to the gym, called friends I had neglected, started running again. And when my manager mentioned that promotion I had previously turned down, I asked if it was still available. It is, she said. I want it. Within weeks, I had a new title, a significant raise, and responsibilities I should have accepted years earlier. My friend Maya took me out for drinks to celebrate. Halfway through the night, she said, "Can I tell you something without you getting mad?" Probably. We all thought Ethan acted like you were lucky he chose you. That stung. Why didn't anyone tell me? Because you loved him. Fair answer. By the second month, I started feeling like myself again. Then Ethan's dream began unraveling. He had gone directly to Chloe. At first, social media made it look perfect. Weekend road trips, mountain hikes, concerts, captions about freedom, the exciting life he had imagined. Then the stories changed. Chloe wasn't adventurous in the charming way Ethan thought. She was unstable. She spent money recklessly, changed plans constantly, and according to mutual friends, she had a serious gambling problem Ethan hadn't known about. Then Chloe was fired after an incident involving another coworker. Because Ethan had introduced her to several clients, her reputation started damaging his too. Projects disappeared, payments slowed, friends pulled away. And then came the most ironic part. Ethan began paying Chloe's bills, the same role I had played for him. Only Chloe didn't call him her safe harbor. She took the money and kept chasing chaos. 3 months after our breakup, they had a massive fight. Chloe threw Ethan out. He ended up on a friend's couch with debt, damaged freelance connections, and nowhere stable to go. A mutual friend told me all of it. So, Maya asked carefully, does that feel good? I thought about it. No. And I meant that. It didn't feel good. It just felt predictable. Ethan had spent years believing stability was something boring people settled for. Now he was finally learning what life felt like without it. And 5 months after I packed his boxes, my phone lit up with his name. Hey, Inez. Can we talk? I think I made the biggest mistake of my life. I stared at the message, then locked my phone. Because whatever mistake Ethan had made, fixing it was no longer my job. Ethan's first message sat unanswered. Then came another. I know I hurt you. Chloe was a mistake. I was confused. 2 days later, I'm sleeping on a friend's couch. Everything's fallen apart. I just want to talk to someone who knows me. That sentence almost made me laugh. When Ethan had stability, he wanted excitement. Now that excitement had swallowed him whole, suddenly he missed the woman who knew how to keep things standing. I still didn't respond. Then the calls started. The first voicemail sounded careful. Inez, please call me. I understand now how much you did for me. I was stupid. I thought I needed something different, but I had everything. Delete. The second sounded desperate. Chloe used me. She borrowed money. She ruined some of my client relationships. I'm trying to rebuild, but I don't know where to start. Delete. By the third, frustration had crept in. I don't understand how you can be this cold after 5 years. There it was. My boundary had become cruelty. Again. I blocked the number. Ethan switched to email. Then his friends started contacting me. One message said, "He made one mistake. You don't have to punish him forever." Another, "He's in a really bad place. You were basically family." Then Ethan's sister Megan called from an unknown number. "Inez, I know you're hurt, but he needs someone right now. He has family. He needs you." "No. He wants what I used to provide." Megan sighed. "You're being heartless." "I'm being finished." I hung up. The next escalation came in person. One night, building security called. "There's an Ethan downstairs asking to come up." "No." "He says it's urgent." "It isn't." 10 minutes later, security called again. "He's refusing to leave." "Then remove him." They did. The next morning, Ethan sent a furious message from a new number. "You had security throw me out? After everything we were?" Then, "You're proving exactly what I said." Cold. Predictable. No emotion. That message clarified something. Ethan wasn't sorry I was gone. He was angry I could no longer be controlled by the version of myself he understood. A week later, he found me at my regular coffee shop. I still don't know whether he followed my routine or someone told him where I usually went. I was waiting for my latte when he stepped directly into my path. He looked exhausted. "Inez." I said nothing. "Please. Just 5 minutes." I glanced toward the counter. "You have until my coffee is ready." His expression crumpled. "Chloe was awful. She cheated. She borrowed money I'll probably never get back. My friends are gone. My work is wrecked. I'm sorry that happened." He reached toward my arm. I stepped back. "I see it now," he said. "You were the real thing. You were always there. Please, Inez, we can start over." There was a time those words would have shattered me. Now all I heard was what he needed. Apartment. Stability. Emotional support. Someone to rebuild him. "What do you miss about me?" I asked. His mouth opened. He hesitated. That hesitation answered everything. My name was called at the counter. I picked up my coffee. "I hope you figure things out, Ethan." "I have nowhere else to go." I looked at him. "That's not a reason to come back to me." Then I walked out. After that, his attempts finally slowed, and my life continued moving forward. Around that time, I started seeing Ryan more seriously. We had met through a friend at my gym. He taught middle school history and had the kind of quiet confidence that didn't need an audience. Our relationship was almost shockingly uncomplicated. If Ryan said he would call, he called. If he wanted to see me, he made plans. He never mocked my routines. One Saturday, I apologized because our date involved grocery shopping before dinner. He laughed. "Inez, normal life is still life." That sentence stayed with me. With Ethan, I had spent years thinking stability was something I needed to compensate for. Ryan treated it like something worth protecting. 7 months after the breakup, a wedding invitation arrived from a mutual friend. Ethan would be there. For a moment, I considered declining. Then Ryan looked at me. "Do you want to go?" "Yes." "Then we go." The wedding was held at a garden venue outside the city. Twinkling lights, long tables, music drifting across the lawn. Ryan and I arrived together. For the first hour, I forgot Ethan might even be there. Then I saw him standing alone near the bar. He looked thinner, older somehow. Our eyes met. His face changed instantly. Ryan was speaking with someone nearby when Ethan put down his drink and started walking toward me. And I knew the final conversation had finally arrived. Ethan crossed the lawn slowly, like he was still deciding whether approaching me was a good idea. Inez. Hey. For a few seconds, neither of us said anything. Up close, he looked worse than I expected. Not destroyed, just worn down. His confidence had always filled whatever room he walked into. Now it seemed like something he had to force. His eyes moved toward Ryan. Is that your boyfriend? Yes. Ethan nodded once. He seems nice. He is. Another silence. Then he lowered his voice. Can we talk somewhere private? I glanced toward Ryan. He was speaking with another guest, but he noticed us and gave me a small look that said he was there if I needed him. 5 minutes, I said. We stepped toward the edge of the garden. Ethan immediately started. I know I messed up. I said nothing. I mean really messed up. Chloe was a disaster. This isn't about Chloe. I know. I'm just saying everything I thought I wanted turned out to be completely different. He rubbed the back of his neck. She cheated on me. Used my contacts. Took money. I lost work because of her. I heard. His face tightened slightly. Of course people told you. I didn't ask. That seemed to embarrass him more. He looked down. I keep thinking about that night. So do I. When I told you I always hoped for someone else. Yes. I was an idiot. You were honest. He looked up quickly. Inez, I didn't understand what I was throwing away. There it was. The sentence I probably would have begged to hear 7 months earlier. Now it landed softly, almost too late to hurt. I'm sorry, he continued, for comparing you to Chloe, for making you feel like you weren't enough, for everything you gave me that I treated like it was just supposed to be there. I believed he meant some of it. Maybe all of it. I appreciate the apology. Hope appeared instantly in his face. So, you forgive me? I thought for a moment. Yes. His shoulders dropped. Then maybe we could. No. The hope vanished. I forgive you because I don't want to carry anger around anymore. That doesn't mean I want you back. His jaw tightened. We had 5 years. And you spent the end of them wishing I was someone else. I was confused. No, Ethan. You were clear enough to say it out loud. He looked past me toward Ryan. So he gets everything? This isn't about him winning. He gets the version of you I should have had. That sentence almost made me sad. You did have me. He went quiet. You had me when I turned down a promotion because you didn't want to move. You had me when your work dried up. You had me when I paid most of the bills so you could build your career. His eyes dropped. You had me when you told me I was your safe harbor. I took a breath. And while you had me, you kept looking over my shoulder for someone more exciting. I know. So now you have what you asked for. He frowned. What? Freedom. His eyes watered. I don't want freedom anymore. That doesn't make me responsible for taking you back. Ryan approached slowly, stopping a few feet away. Everything okay? Yes, I said. Ethan looked at him, then back at me. His embarrassment sharpened into anger. So that's it? You replace 5 years with some guy from the gym? Ryan stayed calm. I answered before he could. I didn't replace you. You removed yourself. Ethan laughed bitterly. You always were good at making everything sound logical. And you always treated logic like a flaw when it stopped you from getting what you wanted. His face hardened. You think your life is perfect now? No. I smiled slightly. It's peaceful. That silenced him. Because peace was the thing he used to call boring. I looked at him one last time. You told me life was too short for good enough. He winced. You were right. His eyes lifted. I just learned that I wasn't the one who was good enough. I turned toward Ryan. Ethan spoke behind me. Inez. I stopped. I really did love you. I looked back. I know. And that was the tragedy of it. Sometimes people love you and still convince themselves there must be something better. Ryan and I returned to the reception. We danced. We laughed. Ethan left early. Months later, Ryan and I became official. My promotion turned into a career path I genuinely loved. I adopted a dog. I traveled more. Not impulsively. Not to prove anything. Just because I wanted to. Ethan eventually faded into background information. Someone I used to know. I used to wonder why I hadn't been enough. I don't anymore. I was enough the entire time. I had simply been giving everything to someone who was too busy imagining somebody else to recognize it. He wanted someone else, so I let him go find them. And I finally found myself.